Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to NinjaTrader Live. I'm Tracy Shuchart, Senior Economist, and here's the news while we are away. First things first, we are seeing a little bit of a fade in the indices. There is no specific news behind that, just so we're clear on that. Moving on, we have Meta's Zuckerberg plans deep cuts for the metaverse. I guess they are expected to cut as much as 30% of the workforce working at the Metaverse Group next year. Those layoffs could begin as early as January, and the Metaverse was asked to cut deeper due to a lack of industry-wide competition and scrutiny from investors and watchdogs over the technology. Apparently, the idea of living in the virtual world has failed to take off. Moving on, we had Trump meeting with Congo and Rwanda today. He did sign a critical mineral accord with them, and that mineral agreements will include rare earths. Obviously, we know that we are in a race to move our supply chains from China, who controls most of the critical and rare earth metals mining and processing. And speaking of which, according to somebody at the White House, the U.S. is deepening its direct financial involvement in the domestic critical minerals sector, moving beyond loans and grants to take significant equity positions in key companies, according to a senior administration official. We are in the business of de-risking these essential projects for the nation, the official said, speaking on condition of anonymity because the policy is still being implemented. An equity stake is a powerful signal of long-term commitment and aligns with our interests directly with commercial success. We know the administration has already taken notable positions, a 15% stake in MP materials, a 5% stake in Lithium Americas, and a 10% stake in Trilogy Metals. And so it will be interesting to see what companies they are particularly looking at. But across the board, mineral companies in North America are ripping today on back of this, I guess, in hopes of getting money from the government or an equity stake. We have AMD. Chief said that the company's ready to pay a 15% tax on AI shipments to China, AI chip shipments to China. The company did get a license to sell some of its MI308 chips to China and is prepared to pay a 15% tax to the U.S. government if it ships them. There is just a little bit of a problem with legalities with this because a lot of experts are arguing that it could violate the U.S. Constitution's bans on taxing exports. So I guess AMD is willing to pay that, but it looks like that might be a violation of the Constitution. So we'll have to see if any legal repercussions become of that. AMD did go slightly negative on this. And then last but not least, we had Mercuria withdraws huge copper volume from the LME. So Mercuria Energy Group ordered $500 million of copper for withdrawal from warehouses overseen by the LME. That's the London Metals Exchange. The firm was the key party involved in the request to withdraw about 50,000 tons of copper from LME depot on Wednesday, and that cancellation of stock is the biggest seen in more than a decade, and obviously has been propelled prices higher yesterday. And we are slightly negative today, but still up. And so, interesting news on copper. We do have copper miners also rallying today on back of this news. And with that, I'll hand it over to Leo and Joey for Trade the Close.
Good afternoon.
How we doing? What's
Well,
up,
we
chat?
got a little market dump that is working on recovering right back to the chop fest zone of 25,600.
Oh yeah, we had some good PA, to start the day. We have on the NASDAQ, about 190 point IB range. Not bad. We saw a nice sell off coming out of the open there. I missed a really good setup earlier this morning. That was an A plus 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 triple plus quadruple plus setup, but that happens sometimes. Saw a nice move down to those 506s and bounce right back above initial balance low into, pretty much the midpoint of the IB range, which would have been the trade setup for me. However, I was not at my computer at the time, so upsetting. But then we saw a lot of chop midday, around VWAP, and ended up coming back down. We retraced all the way back down to those 500s, and now we're ripping all the way back up to the chop fest, like you said. So a lot of support down there in the 500s for the NAS.
Yeah, that's the last week's high right here at I don't know, it's not exactly 490, but it's right at like 499. So expected to be support longer time frame. We've already bounced from that area a couple of times. So not particularly surprised. Honestly, I may have taken a stab at it if I was kind of like ready for trading at that point when it happened, but we were just getting on Zoom. It seems to be a trend, This morning I was getting on for the mid-market show right as we tagged the OR mid, which is a short that, this is a trade that I take. Talk about it all the time. I missed that because I was getting ready for the show. And but I did get I did, Joey, just for like, your boy took it
Let's go.
this long that you were talking about. So
Yeah.
we caught that one this morning.
That's a killer trade. Killer trade. Yeah, it was there. Now let's see if we can get above these 600s and get above this chop zone at this point. There's a lot of strength coming back into it. So hopefully this time we can get above it.
Yeah. It seems like every time we get up into the 650s, we just consolidate and break down. We had this little stop run just above 691, to 700. And that quickly got, slammed down at the open this morning. So I don't know. We have a strong high and a strong, pretty strong low on this candle at least.
Yep.
Seems like we're on a path to nowhere right now.
Yeah. Seems that way. Nil Trade says Joey is chipper. I think he caught the IB low reclaim on that dump. Unfortunately, I haven't caught any IB low reclaim today.
Joey's not chipper. Joey is salty.
Yeah, there's been two of them, and unfortunately, I haven't caught either of them. But Leo had my back on the first one this morning, so he took that one for me. Cooper, how you doing? Leo, how was your holiday?
Great, man. We were in Lubbock, Texas for a couple of days and then right back home. Got the my wife's grandma, got to see her great granddaughter, Noah. That was really important because her grandma is 92. So my wife is like, I'm not really sure, like if she's gonna be around much longer. So her grandma was just thrilled to see the baby.
Nice. Good deal.
What about you?
It was good. A lot of driving, about 10 hours drive time total. And yeah, it was good though for the time that we weren't driving. It was fun.
Yeah. 10 hours is like it's just that to me, it's like 10 hours is the perfect long distance that it's like any further, you just kind of want to stop.
Exactly. Yeah.
And, it's just like,
it's just barely tolerable.
right. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Trader King, how you doing? Holy.
Kind of thinking about taking a short here, right off this VWAP, but It's not like A+ for me to be short in the middle of a really well balanced distribution.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a scary area for me. Having chopped there for so long and then coming right back into it.
Yeah.
I would like to see us get above it. I mean, if we can get out of that
And break
range
out of it.
yeah, just break out of it, I'd be okay with taking some longs at that point, but want to see us put some space between this chop zone.
Well, there's big data coming out tomorrow, PCE, U of M, consumer sentiment, or inflation expectations, one of those two, I can't remember. Or maybe both. Do you know?
We have PCE, factory orders, consumer spending, and Michigan sentiment.
Okay, right on.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be a busy 10 a.m. there.
Yep. Yeah, it's gonna be a spicy one. A lot of volatility.
What's up,
Lots
chat?
of volatility.
What's going on? What's up with the chat?
Yeah, chat. What's the vibes, huh? Are y'all nice and green on the week? How y'all doing?
We only have 48 likes, so just a daily reminder to tap the like button if you like it. If you don't like it, tap it anyway. Et cetera, et cetera.
You'll see a thumbs up button on the stream that's challenging you to a thumb war. So
there you go.
Go ahead and have that thumb war and let me know who wins. How are y'all feeling about ES this afternoon? Let's take a little peek.
And trust me, I'll go full influencer mode if you want me to.
I didn't know Kane was here, but he is. Kane's always here.
ES seeing a little bit of a buy up here, also working its way. It's just under VWAP there. I mean, it had a little chop zone as well. So it's kind of working its way back in that chop zone. Same thing for NAS, or same thing for the NAS. Like I want to see, us get out of the chop zone, put some space between it before I start looking for really anything that would excite me. I personally want to. I'm personally staying out of the chop area, but if we can get above it and put some space there, I mean, I think that could set up for some longs. Gold catching a little bounce off VWAP into the 238s there on gold. Not really much set up on gold for me right now either. Really just, I think all markets right now are flirting with a big chop area that I would like to see space get put between before I think about anything. So we'll see. We have a lot of time left in the afternoon. We'll see if the markets try to get going in either direction.
So, chat, I told you this morning that I would vibe code an opening range tool for TradingView, and I did that, and I posted it to my Twitter handle. So if you want to grab that, it's customizable. You can make it a 1 minute, a 15 minute, a 30 minute, and it has the midline and the extensions as well that you can customize. So you should check that out. I think I'm going to put some more stuff on TradingView. Just going to start to mess around with it. They have the integration with NinjaTrader and Trade8 too, so that's pretty cool.
Nice. G-Man. What's up, dude? Genuine status.
What do I think of PineScript? Honestly, I don't know. I'm not a coder, I'm not a developer, but I'm pretty good at prompting AI to do things for me. Just don't use TradingView for volume. No, I don't use it for volume. I'll probably just put on, just try to get everything that I use from a level standpoint on here. And, be able to use that when I'm away from the desk. Whatever happened to the Dom project, it's still a project. The new Twitter is TradingView, Joey, just so you know. That was, we're going to reinvent the social aspect of TradingView that apparently doesn't really exist anymore.
I love that idea. Yeah, it really doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, that's huge.
Next thing I got to figure out is how to put a trade on in TradingView. That's a whole other.
It is different, yeah. I've done it a few times. I've done it usually when I trade the Asia session. If I trade gold at all, I'll have TradingView up, and I've taken some trades off gold in TradingView.
So are you just mainly charting in TradingView then and executing like on NT or Tradeovate?
Yeah. I usually use TradingView for charting and then execute off Tradeovate. I'm so used to Tradeovate. I've used it for a long time.
Yeah.
That's just my platform of preference and something that I know well and used to.
Yeah. Hotkeys on Tradeovate are nice.
Right back to chopping in the chop zone.
Shocker.
If NASDAQ can get above that 600 and find some strength, I think we can get away from it.
Let's see what. Yeah, I mean, I like that idea. Above 636.
Yeah.
Look for some type of breakout away from this range. I think that's super susceptible to failing as like a failed breakout, but
good.
I might be willing to take a look at that type of a trade here in the afternoon.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I mean, like I said, it could. There's a potential, that it could fail just coming back into the chop zone, but with the strength that we've once again had out of IB low and back up, it wouldn't shock me to see a little bit of a breakout and continue higher. Maybe go up and get a little bit closer to IB high if we do get out of those 600s. But we are still in the chop zone, so anything can happen. ACH. Anything can happen. But I am leaning a little bit more towards the long side. Previous day close at 57. IB range, day to IB high, not out of bounds. Yeah.
On my new computer build, am I going to overclock the CPU? Probably not. It's pretty high powered.
What do you guys make of
this strategy and trigger it via webhook? What?
I was just reading a comment here. He was asking, what do you guys make of the vicious selling followed by vicious buying that just happened? Not exactly chop. No, that was not chop. The chop we're referring to is what we had basically mid morning through, early this afternoon.
All of this range right here. That's the chop we're referring to. So for the majority of the day, we've been in a 30-point range, and we've broken away from it twice now and rallied right back to the middle. So what I would make of it? Nothing. This is very common for when you have a balanced profile. So like at the edge of the profile here, the edge of the profile here, there's not much volume.
Attention traders, It's algo time.
That's like an hour early.
That is an hour early.
Somebody forgot daylight savings time. um, so when you have this Gaussian profile, it's like perfectly balanced. You typically would fade edges, right? So you would look for longs here, look for shorts up here, etc. That's kind of the way that I would look for trades on a day like today. Just end the day, know the feeling. Premature Kane.
Was that the new intern? Yep.
Someone drank on their lunch break. It's okay, gang.
Imagine being in a trade and hearing that it's algo time.
Mm-hmm.
Just have a mini heart attack for a second. Flirting with VWAP here. Still.
So Joey, you mentioned something before we started about your month and how you were locking up some profits.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a record week this week in the account.
Nice.
So when usually if I have something like that, I'm locking it up for the week. I'm not gonna risk anything probably tomorrow. If there's anything, maybe I'll take some sim trades or something. But in my personal account, like it's locked up for the week. We're gonna not gonna give it back. You know what I mean?
That's amazing, man. You build that muscle of taking profits out of your account on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah, we've been doing really well. I mean, we're actually on a 17-day green streak in the account. So just taking it day by day, and then with the week we just had this week, don't want to go into the weekend, running that streak.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Want to protect it.
Start fresh on Monday.
Yep.
It's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Jot.
Yeah, we've been hanging out here all day for the most part. Oh.
Yeah, it's not surprising that we're still hanging out here and chopping around in it for a second. Joey, what do you do on the mental side to keep yourself from getting too overconfident when you get a stretch of wins that long? Awesome, congrats. Thank you. I wouldn't say there isn't really a secret sauce to that. I think it's more so just staying grounded and not changing anything in your trading, right? I'm not changing anything. I mean, position sizing, type of trades I take, it's just doing the same thing day in and day out, right? That I would normally do. And I mean, I guess try not to think about it too much, but also keeping in mind too, kind of like what I said about taking tomorrow off and not risking giving anything back, like knowing when, to protect yourself, right? Because I mean, I want to protect myself from myself, So knowing that I have had such a great week, I want to make sure that I protect that the best I can, right? And so Fridays, I know for me are generally my worst trading days. For whatever reason, I don't perform my best on Fridays, and knowing that makes makes sense for me to just take the day off. But I know a red day it will come, right? We're no trader good, no matter how good you are. None of us are immune to red days. So I know that it's coming. My job as a trader is just to prepare, right? And manage my risk. That's it. As long as I'm managing my risk on my side, then I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
Oh, we're in the middle of effing nowhere.
On your IB strategy, will you do it multiple times a day, like what happened today, or do you find you only trade it once? No, I'll take it multiple times if it shows. Right, if there's opportunity, I'm going to take it. Obviously, besides now because I'm protecting profits, but yeah, I mean, if there's multiple opportunities to take a trade off the IB level, like what we just had, absolutely, I'll take it. That is the A quadruple plus setup.
Walk me through that.
Yeah.
This morning set up from an IB perspective.
So here, let me go over real quick. We can see the chart. Okay. So we caught weakness off what was it, like 630s or so, and came down, broke below IB low there at 520s. Now, I will say this, a true failed auction is on a 30-minute closure, right? And these are failed auctions on IB levels. A true failed auction is on a 30-minute closure back within the initial balance range, right? So, but a lot of times, if you wait for a 30-minute closure, like we didn't close, the 30-minute closure wasn't until like in here. So if I had waited for a 30-minute closure, I would have missed the move, right? Now, if you can get a good entry off a 30-minute closure, even better, right? But a lot of times I won't wait for the 30-minute closure. I'll look more at the 5-minute and see if we're getting strength back above that IB low into the IB range. And if we're showing signs of strength on that 5-minute, that's when I'll execute my trade and look for longs back up into the midpoint of the IB range there. But nice breakdowns and then strength back within are A plus for me.
Gotcha. So you wait for the breakdown. You track over to a shorter time frame.
Yep.
And then wait for that to build like you have to close a 5-minute bar back inside the IB.
Yeah, I would like 5 minutes to close back within the IB and continue to show strength. And if we're continuing to show that strength, that's when I'll execute.
Okay. So then your main target is the mid. Is that right? Okay.
Yep. If I can get the midpoint, that'd be great. Stop loss, back below the low. And then depending on where my entry is will, determine my position sizing and how I manage risk there. But yeah, I mean, A plus there.
Nice.
Same thing that just happened here. Got to break down below that IB low there, down to 490s or so. What was it, or 486, 489? Saw strength back within IB low. Could have taken a long there with a stop below the low, depending on my entry would have, obviously determined my position sizing with how wide my stop would be.
Right.
And then taken the long there back to the midpoint, which would have also worked out.
Makes sense. And what's the purple line?
Previous day close.
657.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
What is IB low and how to get it on your charts? You can mark it out yourself. So like this is an indicator that I had made. It's not, I mean, not really an indicator. Just it automatically marks out the IB range for you. But the IB range is the first hour of the trading session. So the IB high would be the high of the first hour, and IB low would be the low of the first hour of the New York session, the New York Open. I think I just answered a couple of questions there at the same time, so hopefully that was good.
I like this question. Does the speed or violence of the selling not deter you from a long in that situation? And I will tell you from personal experience that when I have a level of interest that we just, either rocket to or, sell straight to it, and we get some level of a reaction there, I'm more inclined to take that trade as opposed to if we just grind slowly to that area.
Mhm.
I don't know what your take is there.
No, yeah, Sam. The speed of it, I really don't pay attention to too much. Again, it's just it's all about levels for me, no matter how fast or slow we get there.
Yeah.
Or bounce out of it, So if it's a level I have interest in and we get a reaction, that's all I really care about.
Cool. And no other volume profile or like any order flow, anything from you that
Nope.
you use? Okay.
Primarily an IB trader. Now, if I take trade, obviously, there are days where I don't wait for an hour to take a trade for IB to get set. So if I am taking a trade before initial balance is set, I'm usually marking out just some key levels that have some strong areas that we've caught reactions from and wait for those to come into play.
Yeah, that makes sense. Are the X on your charts automatically drawn, or do you just draw those for reference?
It's automatically placed.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that marks off where the 30-minute closure was for a true failed auction of the IB break.
Gotcha.
Could you show which candle you marked today for IB high and IB low? Yeah. Let's see and get it into. I'll drag it over here so you guys can see. Oh, okay, there we go for full screen. So it'd be here, right? 725,713 for IB high. And then IB low. I'm on a 5-minute. IB low is right here at 25,520. And again, this is the first hour high and low of the session here.
Today you were on side with our mid short for once. Half the time it gets in your way. That's for sure.
It's the initial balance range. It's very similar to Orb, right? I mean, people trade it pretty much the same way, in a sense. Do you use IB on NQ only, or have you used a strategy on it? It works on ES as well.
I mean, the initial balance is something that has been around
a long time,
since the 80s.
Yeah, it's been around. It is definitely not a new concept. It's been around for quite some time.
Yep.
If you guys are book readers, there's a good book that really breaks down initial balance called Market Profile. Or no, not Market Profile, Mind Over Markets. It's called Mind Over Markets. It's a good book that breaks down IB as well.
That's a great book for anybody that wants to understand auction market theory and market profile in general.
And I will say, chat is not a book you just read through. It's kind of like a book you just study.
Yeah.
It is definitely a book you study, not just kind of read. But it's a good one if you want to dive into it.
TPO breaks down price through time. Does it make sense to y'all? I'm not sure I understand the question. The data release tomorrow is at 10 a.m. Eastern. Will be PCE and consumer sentiment. What's the name of the book? It's Markets and Profile by Jim Dalton. Or mind over markets.
Yeah,
That's another one.
Mind over markets.
When did you switch from delta footprint to leg to leg? Shoot, man, maybe like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I haven't looked at a footprint chart in a long time.
Man, I haven't either. I'm getting some more selling coming through here on the NAS.
Bring back the Delta Towers. I mean, Delta map is far above and beyond that. So just kind of, I don't want to be duplicitous. What are the large time frames you use to find key areas? Okay, so for me, key areas are going to come from the daily. So high, low. So the open, high, low, close, as well as the overnight high and low. I don't use the overnight close, or that would be the open. Then I use weekly open, high, low, close, VWAP, the weekly VWAP, prior week's VWAP, which is something that not anybody, I don't really hear anyone speak about that, extending that level to the next week. And then the monthly, same thing. So high, low, open, the monthly open, and the monthly VWAP and prior month VWAP. The prior month VWAP being the prior month VWAP close. The prior VWAPs, I don't really hear anyone talking about that, but it's not something that I've really spoken about a ton, but something that I've been looking at more and more seriously for kind of an area of interest level. And then the others would be the value areas from that prior week, prior month. So not too much from a level standpoint. And then for automation, I use this study we built that maps out balance areas. So that's the shaded box here so the top of this balance area is right at 25,500. We can see how the market's trading around it. It's pretty much kind of the pivot point on the higher time frame for, if we're going to break out to the upside here or, fail back in and trade through this range. And so this is all automated based on how volume overlaps each other day to day. So that's pretty much it. So these levels right here are just monthly. They're weekly and monthly. So that, like, this would be prior month's high, 26,267, prior month's low, and then the weekly levels are in pink. That's an hourly chart. Yep.
NASDAQ just can't get above those 600s, huh?
Using the leg to leg delta is something you learned from me. Oh, that's awesome. It's obvious. Yeah. It's almost one of those things where breaking down the auction from a leg to leg standpoint was like once you put it on and you get accustomed to it, you're like, this makes so much sense to view the volume and the deltas at each leg of a move. Still use the delta footprint. So I do have a delta footprint that maps out the liquidity zone studies. So like you have a ton of offer delta up here that goes nowhere. it would map out those. I don't have those on the on this chart, the workspace that I stream on Ninja with, but that's something that I do use on my primary.
See, Joey, I forgot about the 1 hour IB concept. Thanks for the reminder. Could you run through your process again if you have a plan under the 1 hour? All right, under the hour. So before the initial balance is set. Yeah. So I will go to, either a 15-minute or 30-minute and look for just key levels, right? That we've had strength out of or that, appear strong for reactions. I'll just zoom out to higher time frames, right? So like I'm on a 15-minute right now. And so I can look for areas that, here, let me get rid of this so you guys can see. There we go. So I'll look for areas that have strong reactions out of, right? And wait for price to go test those levels. I'll either wait for whether we get a clean test or if we get a break out of those levels and failing them, kind of like what I talk about on failing initial balance lows or highs. I'll wait for wait for price to break out of these levels, like what we had here, right? We see there, we broke out of these highs, failed it, came all the way back down. Next level would be somewhere in this range for me. We got pretty close, but didn't really come all the way down and test that. But that would be something that I look for, right? On either 15-minute or 30-minute strong zones to catch reactions out of. If I'm trading, before the initial balance is set.
So if we break down from the IB, are you using that IB low as a retest for like a short continuation trade?
Yeah, 100%. So
Okay.
I have I have a higher win rate trading failures than I do continuations.
Okay.
But that is also something you can look at too. There are a lot of people who prefer to trade continuations on IB breakouts versus the failures. It kind of really depends on who you are as a trader and what you feel more comfortable with and what you execute well on.
Yeah.
So in this, like obviously we didn't have any continuation here, but just say, let's just take this IB low breakout right here. One trader could look at this as a lot of strength and wait for a retest of IB low, right? After breaking down below it, wait for a retest at IB low, and then look for secondary weakness to come through off that retest and catch a short to continue the trend lower.
Right.
Right. So there are continuation plays that you could take, and that a lot of people do. For me, I'm more of a IB failure trader. It's just that's just my bread and butter. But those continuation plays can offer some great opportunity.
Joey's always fading the current move.
If you're cold, that's it. I'm shaving my head. That's good. Join the bald club. It's okay.
I think you should challenge Joey to grow hair.
What would you suggest, strength or weakness for you, Joe? So it's all about reactions, right? I want to see the market react before I execute. That's just for me. Does that mean sometimes I miss the moves? Sure. But if I see clean reactions off those levels, then that's when I execute. So it's all about reactions for me. Joey's brain's so powerful it literally ate his hair. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you gotta take those big brain jokes and stride.
Yeah.
You just gotta own it. How do you pull and drag the chart around? Well, just one You can go left and right. And then if you hold your control key and then drag, you can go up and down. And then if you grab your scale, right side scale, you can make it stretch out, however you want it. I like to, there's an automatic function, right? So if you click this F button, it will automatically kind of give you the most recent high and low with a little bit of margin there. But sometimes I like to take over. Yeah, the control button. They really should just make it native to be able to do that. Like you shouldn't really have to click a button to move up and down. But I don't know. That's just how it is. Without the control button, yeah. There are chart scroll indicators, yeah. If you
What
put a turtleneck
circumstances?
and glasses, it qualifies you as an art appraiser. Speaking of art, there's a big art festival in Miami, right? It's where all the billionaires go.
I want to go. See, hi Joey. What circumstances makes the IB strategy more likely to fail? Thanks for all the insights. So I'm gonna assume you're asking what would make IB failures, what would cause me to lose an IB failure trade? I'm gonna take that question as that. Trending market, right? So IB failures work really well in consolidated markets. You can see it right here as a prime example where we've been pretty well balanced and we've been consolidating. Generally, range markets work well with IB failures, where failure meaning, again, breaking below and coming back within the range and finding strength. Trending markets, usually you have a move in one direction, whereas the continuation play off IB would be more of the strategy there because you're getting a move in a single direction versus breaking out of the IB range and coming back within it. So if you're speaking on when would I lose an IB failure trade, that would be probably in a trending market.
Did your quant ever tell you if you were smoking crack on the 80% rule or not? I need to ask him again. If Leo took off his hat, I saw something about if I took off my hat, would there be two bald men? No, I have a full ass head of hair. I just don't like to do it.
He could also be Lion Chat.
If you didn't have, I would lie about that. If you didn't have order flow for whatever reason, what would you look for to get into a trade after hitting a level? Damn, that's a good question. I think I would just I would have to use something like Joey does, where it's like candle close above, a level, like you have a break of a level, or you just have a level or whatever. You just have a rule around when you would take a trade against it. I'm hiding a purple mohawk. Oh, yeah, I'm sure my wife would love that. I thought you had a Valvoline hat on. You think I'm a race car driver? Okay, Leo trying to pick between TradingView versus NinjaTrader and the expensive order flow and footprint bit. What would you recommend? I would recommend NinjaTrader all day and twice on Sundays because the TradingView order flow data is not accurate. So for that reason, the NinjaTrader order flow package is, I think it's $50 a month. It's really inexpensive. And it's got volume profile, VWAP, Delta, all kinds of tools from an order flow perspective that you can use.
Joey, the IB you use is first hour of the day. Yes, first hour of in the New York Open.
Yeah, the ability to manipulate what you're seeing in the data is much easier with NinjaTrader for sure.
How did I start trading IB? I had seen some. It was a long time ago when I started. I started using IB early, like in my trading career, with futures, that is. Um, but I had seen somebody else using it, and I just kind of took the time to study it and found that it worked for me. But also too, like finding ways to make it work for me as well. Like just taking like the overall concepts of what IB is and what a failure is, and then finding a way that like fits my trading personality and style, and just kind of molding into that, you know.
So Joey, are you and sorry, I'm not trying to drill you with questions. I'm just trying to understand, like learn your style a little bit.
Yeah, you're good. Fire away.
So from an execution perspective, are you all in, all out? Do you scale into a trade ever? Do you scale out of
Yeah.
your trades? Like how do you execute?
I prefer all in, all out. I used to be more of a you know, adding to positions, scaling in and out. Um, Lately I've been more so all in, all out, but that's not to say that I won't do that. I won't scale in. I mean, I think it also very much depends on the market context and what my entry is, what kind of strength I'm getting into the entry, right, or the trade. If I, just as an example, if I take a IB low failure, right, and my entry is, you know, a little bit wider or a little bit more aggressive, meaning I need to have a wider stop, I might have a lower position size. So I might start out with just a few micros. And if I'm starting to get some continued strength, then I might scale into a larger position with the winning trade, right?
Mhm.
So that could be a scenario where I scale in and scale out. Um, if I get a really clean entry, then I might be sized more aggressively to where I could be all out of the trade. So it really, I
Gotcha.
think it really just depends on the context.
On the situation.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Because if I'm getting an aggressive entry, where like, you know, just taking this example here, I'm just going to point it on the chart here. If I were to take an aggressive entry, say, you know, off this IB low failure, my entry was more in like the 50s, then I would probably be sized a little bit lower
Yeah.
and looking to scale, you know, into the position more so if I'm getting that continuation that I want to see,
Yeah.
versus sizing full size here that I normally trade and risking this wide of a stop.
Right.
So that would be a scenario where I would, you know, scale into it. That way I can keep my risk tight, but also try to capitalize off of a winning trade. Theoretically, market range is 75% time. We do get more of range markets, yeah. All in, all out depends on market conditions, Joey, in my opinion. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, again, it's just going back to it's just context, conditions, where my entry is. But like I said, I prefer all in, all out. Because then at that point, I'm probably sized to where I normally size, and I can capitalize off some movement, make a good amount of money off that, and get out of it.
Yeah. I'm a little more dynamic. I'll start small, watch what happens. I'll take maybe an aggressive entry, and then try to add into it within a given range, and then try to add more when it starts to go, kind of thing. And then kind of scale out. I use like the same MGI that I use for like levels of interest for executing a trade. I would use for targets, right? So if I got long here at prior day mid, I would target VWAP as my first TP, right? It's kind of, or up here, that'd be another target. So I kind of use the same levels or area of interest from an execution standpoint as targets too.
Nice. So are you, when you take trades, do you normally just like, is it take what the market gives you as you're scaling out, or do you have like a certain target? Do you aim for certain targets?
So I usually, I'm usually targeting 20 to 25 points on the first scale. Sometimes 15, if the market's really slow. And then I'm looking for, something that's 30 to 40. And then beyond that, just kind of letting the trade play out on a higher time frame, I guess.
Yeah. Nice. Hey, Joey, when you hit your IBs, do you look for a breakout, a rebound off of them? When you hit your IBs, you look for a breakout or rebound off them. Okay. Generally, I look for a break below or above. So if we're talking about IB low, I look for a break below and then a bounce back within. So a rebound back within the initial bounce range. And that's what I would take longs.
How do you manage your trades after you entered? I think I just covered that. You often let losers run, but cut winners. That's common amongst newer traders for sure. Don't beat yourself up about that.
Yeah.
It's something that you have to get used to, taking your L and not letting that L run against you too hard.
There is no secret sauce to fixing that. Really, it's that you eventually get tired of being slapped in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you get to that point, that's when you usually fix it.
PB, I don't use any type of FEGs or any of that in my strategy. Fractal's like, bro, so real. 9 years in, still do that from time to time. It takes many beatings. It takes many, many beatings.
So do you see a difference in results if we are outside of IB for a longer or shorter amount of time? Example, results are better when we stay out for 30 minutes ahead instead of 1 minute. No. I mean, I don't really put any time on when the market does what it does. The market could break out of the initial balance range and consolidate, say, above it for an hour or 30 minutes or 45 minutes, whatever, right? And then when I do get the reaction that I'm looking for back within the range, that's when I'll execute. So there really is no time frame that I'm looking for it to happen, or time that it has the best results. It's just all of, the market's going to do what the market's going to do on its own time. And when, I get those reactions, I'll execute.
All right,
But I
Cooper.
wouldn't say there's a perfect time to be outside of the IB before coming back within it.
Let's see if we can't pull up a RTY chart. Cooper has been DMing me about RTY, telling me it's going to the moon. Let's see this chart.
Leo or Joey, how do you exit a losing trade to avoid getting watched? Do you limit out, mark it out, or just flatten? I have, for
I
me,
just flatten.
I have hard stops.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
If I have a level that I want to get out, I have an order set, a limit order set that's going to take me out of my entire position.
yeah. Yeah, man. The RTY chart, I mean, there wasn't really that much going on. I mean, it definitely rallied and just rode a trend all the way up to 2540s and then just kind of stalled out and liquidated back into the middle. If you have your chart set to hand, try to support vertical. That's in another platform that doesn't work in Ninja. Yeah, yeah. That's a different platform, Gary. Who wouldn't want to be the owner of the 2000 lamest stocks in the markets? Yeah. I think Delhi does like to swing that. So, was he long again, the Russell recently? I mean, it's made a nice move since yesterday. Big time rally, consolidate overnight, rally again. The deltas in RTY actually just suck.
Well, this afternoon has flown by. Not for price, but so,
I was like,
but for the stream seems
bro,
like it's flown by.
you mean 40 points?
Yeah, the market hasn't done anything. I mean,
I'm getting DMs, people telling me to tell them 5-minute mid to F off. Can't hate on them. Can't hate on it.
see if NASDAQ tries to go back to its favorite spot in the 600, 599. Leo, you trade options too, right? I remember that right?
No, that's how I started trading. I don't trade options anymore. I got tired of having my head on a swivel 24/7. What about you?
No,
No.
every time I tell people that I never took the time to learn options, they tell me that I'm lucky. So I think I'll stay away from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more of a swing trader of stocks outside of trading futures.
Mm-hmm. Mark let us know that he smashed the like button all the way from East Chicago, Indiana. Thank you,
Let's
Marcus, for slamming that thumbs up button. He did. He took the thumbs up war and he won.
There you go. Who was it? Mark? Was his name
Yep.
Mark? Yeah, okay. There we go. Chat, be like Mark.
You guys need to be more like Mark and less like people that don't use the like button. He's not all that far from the CME.
We got a smashed it from Italy. There we go. Chat, where are you guys smashing the like button from?
Ireland, Cyprus, Utah, Spain, Toronto, South Carolina, Scotland, Houston, Vegas, Denmark, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Lithuania, Netherlands. Joey, we're global, bro.
Australia, holy. Worldwide.
Sweden, Wyoming, Ohio, Montreal, Mississippi, Utah, Stowe's basement.
Argentina.
Nice. Nottingham. Yeah, if you click it twice, it counters the first click. So you have to click it 3 times in that case. Edmonton, Kane's Garage, Russia. Nobody's hitting it from the white van, huh? North Pole. Heck yeah. I think my wife is the North Pole. Based on how many Amazon boxes we're getting. That time of year, you know.
And we got people all over the world here. It's crazy. The island with the penguins. Somebody help me out there. I don't know.
The island with the penguins, Antarctica.
I was gonna say, is it Antarctica?
Down by the river. You know what? I got, they keep tapping this, these 65s and bidding out of it. So I was like, I'll just join this for a quick, move back to the middle of the range. But it's just like I'm already too late by the time I decided to click the button. Maybe they'll give another stab. They'll give another look at it.
Yeah, I don't hate the idea. I mean, we've been just that VWAP there, 599, 600 has been a magnet for us. So it wouldn't surprise me to see us, rotate back to it.
How about a close at zero?
Love it.
Hey, there's support at 0.
Yeah, there is. If we sink through 0, chat, we have a problem.
I don't know. Crude oil went negative.
If the market goes to 0 in period, we have a serious problem, chat.
If you hit a level, what would be too late for you to enter a certain amount of points away? It's all about risk to reward for me. If I enter at 73, I have to risk basically down to, 55. So that's like a 20-point stop loss essentially. And, I'm targeting like 90 up to 95-ish. So really only getting 1-to-1 on a kind of a C trade at best. And so it's just like not worth it. Now, if I was able to get an entry in the 60s, using that same stop level, so I have a 10-point stop for a trade that can go up to the 90s, then that's I have 10-point stop, 30-point take profit. So 3-to-1, maybe even more if it runs. That's a much better risk profile for that type of trade. So for me, it's just about the risk to reward. But as slow as this thing is going, it's only going to get worse next week because we have contract roll.
Mm.
So I hate to break it to you, but it's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes roll weeks can be good trades, but I don't know. December, maybe it gets crazy with FOMC if they do something weird.
Yeah, roll week is can be tricky. And get some really wonky PA. You never trade roll weeks, never been kind to you? Oh, if that's the case, could be a good idea to stay out of it. Take a vacation.
You know what I do? I take the time to clean up my area. Do like not renovate, but just maybe if I want to make some changes to my desk layout,
Yeah.
do some upgrades, clean up my charts, maybe back test some new strategies, just be less involved in the market. And, because I don't really love trading roll.
Yeah, same.
From a volume profile perspective, what are you expecting for tomorrow? Well, I would just go to my high time frame. This is a 4-week volume profile. This is as simple as it can get. And I'm not saying that because I wouldn't say this every time we look at the volume profile, but we just happen to be given a gift right now. At the top of this build is a very low volume area. And I would expect if we're able to push away from this large volume node to the upside, that you would want to be focused on longs, and that where this other line is right here, the lower edge of this volume node right here at 500 is if we break down from here, that we would be looking for a multi-day journey at least to the middle of this balance area, and then typically you'd go all the way through it. Now, is that going to happen in one day? Likely not. This move from these lows took 3 or 4 days, but it's always good to have an awareness about where a likely destination is, because right now we have the scenario today is we have a balance area, we've broken out from it, and the expectation would be for that breakout to continue. Now we're having a hard time, right? And so with that in mind, if it fails, it would be a failed breakout from a very large balance. And so you would expect that you may go through all the way through the range, back through the range. So I would be using the 25,500 as my line in the sand for support, and the 25,687 as kind of the line in the sand for, breakout longs. Anywhere in the middle is likely to be pretty choppy, and that's kind of what we've seen. Except for when we get to the top of this range, we tend to, liquidate back to the lower edge. So it is actually very clean look at it. We have a ton of volume we're building up here. When this happens, we have, tons of consolidation. The market's kind of building up energy for the next move. And so with that awareness, if we get that, whatever that move is, you want to go with that direction. So that's kind of what I would look at from a volume profile perspective on the higher time frame. Another 600 plus indecisions. Yes, exactly. Hey, you're welcome. You are welcome. I am.
Sooners.
Can you do that for ES? Brother, I'd have to have an ES chart up, and I don't.
Late days should close weak or under 600 then? Well, it's looking we're going to stay under 600.
Yeah.
We have not been able to hold above all day, really.
You have family in Moore? Moore is the city that gets terrorized by tornadoes every like 5 to 10 years. Where can you find the delta you have? I have. That is a paywalled. But you could, I think, there's some people in the chat that have made their own. So maybe they'll reveal themselves. And Norman. Heck yeah. I love Norman. Only because that's where OU is. Ardmore. I've driven through Ardmore, just driving by, going down 35.
I've never been to either of those places. I haven't really been to Oklahoma and like really at all. I think the only place I've been in Oklahoma is like Tulsa.
Yeah. And you're St. Louis or Arkansas? I can't remember.
I'm in Springfield, which is
Springfield.
Yeah,
Okay.
Springfield, Missouri, which is like 3 hours south of St. Louis.
Right. Yep. Springfield, you guys had a pretty nasty tornado like 5 or 6 years ago, right? Or that was Joplin.
That was Joplin.
Yeah, that was a bad one. Stowe's doing fantastic. Stowe is doing fantastic. Just taking care of his family.
Back to 599 maybe. We got algos coming up.
The longs are listening. Yeah.
Here in a little bit, we'll be hearing Kane's voice.
It's algo time.
I think we need not just his voice, but just a full screen of him just looking to the camera saying algo time.
Yeah, we need to make that happen, actually.
Yeah.
Kane, if you're out there. Now, for a second time today, it will be algo time. Make it happen.
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
Chat, got about 10 minutes till the close. Algo is fixing to start firing off.
Attention traders,
It's algo time.
There he
Joey's
is.
just trying to front run the comment. Guess that long would have worked.
Algos are now algoing, getting us back into the 600s. See if we stay up there. What do you think? Chances are we just end in this chop zone?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Nothing more fun than a balanced market.
I mean, Job, my buddy, is a volume profile connoisseur, and he's probably looking at this day and going, "That's so satisfying."
Yeah.
Perfectly balanced profile.
Perfectly
And
balanced as all things should be. Chat, can you name the movie?
I don't even know the movie, so I
Oh.
missed the reference.
See if chat can.
Snatch.
No. Ah, there it is. Thanos. Yep.
Dang.
Avengers.
Movies to watch. Never heard of her.
Chat, I don't watch a lot of movies, but I know my Marvel.
What about like shows like Netflix or anything? You got any good shows? I know there's some that have come out that I need to watch. Like didn't the isn't there one that just came out? The Landman series, didn't the new episodes of Landman come out?
I haven't seen it.
No. You've never seen Landman?
No.
Oh
Seriously, like
shit.
I've been
You gotta watch that.
anytime I say this over, anytime somebody brings up TV shows or movies, generally I'm out of the conversation.
Same. But Landman is totally worth it.
I'll have to check it out. Add to the list.
Yeah.
My wife is making me watch Stranger Things right now.
Oh, that's the other one that just came out, like season 4.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
just
see, look
dropped.
at the chat. The chat
Yeah.
confirmed it.
Chat's
Landman is
confirming that
goated.
Landman is goated. Okay.
It is for real.
I'll have to add it. I started watching Billions.
That's also a great one.
Yeah.
Um,
That was really good.
that's a good one. There's another one I can't. Ugh. I'll have to DM it to you.
Okay.
But it's another like business like movie.
Movie or show?
Show. It's built on, I think, like the Murdochs, kind of like playing along with that story.
Okay.
Succession, yes.
There you go.
That is, thank you, Matt. Succession is good. It's such Succession is hilarious because it's just like, it's one of those shows that's just like a constant train wreck and you can't stop watching.
I think there's only 2 shows that I've watched and like the whole thing and all the way through every season, every episode, and that's Ozark and Reacher.
Yeah.
I think those are the 2 shows I've really I've watched.
If you liked Ozark, you would like Succession.
Okay.
Because it's not the same level of like degeneracy that's in Ozark, but it's the same level of like there's constantly basically just a shit show.
Nice.
The Wire, I've never watched The Wire. Tulsa King is good. The problem is they put Tulsa King out with like 4 episodes and that was it. So it's like hard to really get into it. All the best actors are from Chicagoland area. Started watching Landman. Now you want to trade CL? I've never watched The Wire. No. Never watched The Wire.
I guess I have a list of shows to binge now.
Yeah, Succession, Landman, at least those 2. The best cop series of all time. Actually, you know what? I did try to start The Wire. Severance is great. I think I did actually try to start The Wire and then I couldn't get into it. If you like Ozark, you like Black Rabbit, another Jason Bateman show. I've never heard of that. Was that new? Black Rabbit? Is on Netflix?
I feel like I could watch Ozark probably a couple times. Jason Bateman's so good in that.
Agreed. It came out a few months ago. Okay. I'll check it out. Black Rabbit. Nice. Thanks. Put that on my list.
Chat, isn't there a new Marvel movie or a new Avengers movie coming out next year? Talking about Thanos earlier and it kind of reminded me of it. I think there's a new Avengers movie that's supposed to come out. They pushed the new Dune film back after seeing the new Marvel trailer. Wait, there's a new Marvel trailer? They already have a trailer for it? Justified was a great show. Avengers died the moment Tony dies. You know, I agree. I'm with you 100% on that. But I think doesn't why can't I think of his name? Robert Downey Jr. Doesn't he come back as like I think he comes back as a villain, like Doctor Doom? Yeah. Text trades, appreciate you. Market coming up on close right into the chop fest.
Right into the middle of the chop zone. Chat. Tomorrow is Ferragamo Friday with the one and the only PAX. And then my good friend XYZ.
Oh yeah. Daddy's gonna get his Ferragamos.
And also Chris with Trading Boxes will be on tomorrow. So make sure you don't miss it. Appreciate everybody for jumping on today. And we'll be back for sure next week. So we'll see you next week when I'm back on. Appreciate you guys for jumping on and have a great day.
Thanks, chat. Have a good day.
See you, chat.